I'm glad you got a chance to explore these different scenarios, which are actually based on real schools that are all trying to improve learning for students in different ways. One of the things that distinguishes the 4 scenarios from each other is that each of those school communities has different sets of beliefs. Some of those different beliefs are about what students need to be able to do to thrive in the future. What would your community say about what the most important skills and competencies are for students to do really well in the future? And then each of the school communities in the 4 scenarios, they also have different beliefs about what their strengths are and what they're really good at. Those 2 things, your beliefs about what really good learning should help students be able to do, and your beliefs about what your strengths and culture really be able to offer to students, those are 2 crucial starting points for thinking about new innovations and new directions and new visions for schools. A second thing which you should pay attention to across these scenarios is I'll make the argument that each of these 4 scenarios, each of these 4 schools is trying to do something that might be called personalized learning. It could be called personalized learning, but they're personalizing in very different ways. So one of the schools in the scenarios that you read about tries to personalize learning by helping to algorithmically optimize each individual student's pathway through a school experience. The content is set, but we're trying to have each student be able to travel at their own pace. Now there's another school in the 4 scenarios that really focuses on personalization around students' individual interests. So many students might be doing things at the same time, but they're doing different things at that time. They're all pursuing their own individual interests. The personalization is around interest. The key idea here is that we have these buzzwords that appear in education like personalization, and there's lots of ways that they might be useful, but one risk of these words is that we can use them to describe very different kinds of practices. So as you're sitting around with meetings and discussions with your colleagues, trying to figure out the next level of work for your school, and you hear people use words like competency or personalization, it's really important to ask the question, what does this mean to you? What exactly does this look like in practice? Are we talking about the same thing when we're using some of these terms? Being able to clarify your ideas around some of these key ideas, around some of these key terms, is really helpful to making sure that you're all working together and refining a vision.